Hey, how's it going, guys? I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope everything goes good with you. And yeah, this anime really did like make a big difference last year, and I feel like it was very underrated just because of when it came out. And a lot of people just missed out on it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video and have a good time. Also, if you want to follow me at twitch.tv/ZardKing8U. Very cool stream, very fun, and yeah, peace. What makes an anime good? Is it how many choreographed fights there are? Is it how many times we laugh and share those laughs with others? I would say those are some pretty good points, but I think the best point would probably be just sharing opinions, what you think will happen, how it will happen, and everything of the sort, everything of the nature. I think when you look at series that are ongoing, like some of the best series are the ones that people theory craft for and talk about with friends and talk about what they enjoyed and how much they enjoyed it. You look at a series like One Piece or Naruto or any of those others, and for currently right now for One Piece it is happening. But while Naruto was going on, when a lot of people didn't know the ending, it was still going on. Like back during like the early Shippuden days, no one knew where it was gonna go. So people just kept speculating and speculating what was gonna happen. How Madara was gonna come into the fray and possibly be like the big end game baddie, and just a bunch of other theories similar to the fact. And you see that now with One Piece. You see a lot of theories popping up with all these new characters, all these new like combos, teams, who will join. I feel like that's a really big one. People love speculating about their shows and then talking about it after. But then you get the short series. When there's a thing with like a short series, what you talk about after isn't really necessarily the series, but it's the world of the series, if that makes sense. So like for example, when people talk about Code Geass, but they talk about like the powers and like the coolness of it, what was like their favorite part of it, and how characters interacted after the story, you know, stuff like that. But the main thing is like they focus on like what happened within it. They don't really focus on like the future of it, which I think is a very strong point for some short anime. And that's why it's segueing into Super Crooks, which honestly ended up being a real surprise hit for me. And when I mean real surprise hit, I mean real surprise hit. Ended up deciding to watch it in the dub because it was originally based off of an American comic, but it's a Japanese anime. So I feel like either or, if you watch the Japanese dub or the English dub, it really does not make the biggest difference other than like how you feel about the show. It just felt a little weird seeing like all these like Western things, Western media things in like a Japanese show. That's why I ended up watching the dub. However, I do still admire like the sub. Like I watch almost every anime in sub. Also, it had a lot of big Boondocks vibes. Oh my goodness. Like it it felt like I was watching like some spin-off episode of the Boondocks. Like it was actually kind of crazy. People were like dying left and right. It was like a more like a gory version of the Boondocks with superpowers, if that makes sense. And I even made a joke that the one of the best characters in the show, the Praetorian, and this other guy, the bastard, they look a lot like Ed Wunsler the third and Ed Wunsler together. And the craziest part was they were always together in the thing, and it was just like, what the heck? So yeah, now to talk about my favorite parts of the show. I would say that my favorite scenes, like some of my favorite scenes, were scenes that had Johnny with them, and just because Johnny was just like such a cool character to have in this show, and his design honestly is a lot better compared to like looking at his design from like the actual comic book. This guy in like the show, he had like this really trimmed out beard, like it looks like super nice, you know. He's like got like this swagger about him. When I looked at the comic, like just like pictures from the comic, I just wasn't getting that vibe, you know. Like it was just very rough. But yeah, definitely like Johnny in the show. I think he was great, and we had just like an overall like just awesome cast, awesome like personalities. I just love their personalities across the board. I definitely recommend that if you are like a big fan of like the superhero genre, or just anything like similar to the fact, something fantasy, like, you know, the heist genre, you know, just anything, I would definitely recommend this to you. It was just an overall really good show. But yeah, another character I liked a lot was Casey. She was very good, very awesome. Like she saves like the team like anytime they're in a pinch. Like it's honestly crazy how her powers were. And then we also see Sammy and Roddy. I feel like Sammy and Roddy had some of the best fighting scenes in the entire series, particularly Roddy, if I'm being honest. Like the scene with Gladiator and Roddy on top of the plane, by far best fight scene like in the series, hands down. Like it's just so funny, it's goofy, you know. You get a little bit of everything there. You get tactical stuff, you know. You see how hard everyone is trying to like just like beat this one guy, and you could really see like the difference in the usage of their like powers, how it takes a whole team of people to just beat one person. Like, you know, it's very nice. And he definitely like there's like a whole scene where like him and Gladiator are just like on the plane just duking it out, and I just think that that's like probably like the best fight scene. And then we have the Praetorian. By far, the Praetorian was like one of the best characters, like top 3 for me. And the main reason was that when he's just on the screen, the camera looks up to him to make him appear bigger than everyone else, when he realistically wasn't even that much taller than the other characters in the show, which I thought was a very nice detail when I was looking back at clips on it. Like the camera's always just slightly under his head, looking up towards him, which it just makes it like you see the difference between the Praetorian and like everyone else, and it's just really cool. And the way his power works, where he just has like a set amount of random powers per day, and he gets a new power each day, and like every time he turns on his power to activate it or whatever, however it works, it was very confusing. They kind of like move it around a little, but it seemed like it was like a switch. Like it felt like it was like a switch. It's kind of like you spin a gumball machine and you get a gumball out of the machine. That's kind of like what his power was whenever he would turn on to activate it. And for the first heist, you see that this man goes really, really, really hard on them. And the entire time I'm just thinking, if only they didn't have the one person that is the worst person to have on any heist ever. And it's the bad luck guy, because you don't want the bad luck guy to fight the guy that gets a random power up every day, and every time he turns on his power he uses one of his random powers that he has in his arsenal. Like you don't want, that's like the worst matchup ever. Why would you want that matchup? But yeah, I sincerely think that because they had the bad luck guy on the team for those 2 of the heists in this show, because there's like quite a bit of heist. Like it's honestly like a heist thing where they're just moving from heist to heist. It's kind of like Great Pretender, but like if Great Pretender they like failed every one of their heists, they brought the bad luck guy to the heist, which does not make any sense. That's like the last guy I'd want to work with if I'm being 100% honest. That was pretty much everything I wanted to say so far. I really like the characters in the show. I think that they really made the show just overall a lot better than what it was originally going to be. And from what I heard, like when I was looking up all the stuff on this was the same people. Like this is in the same universe that Netflix's other show called Jupiter Legacy, and that show looked so bad. And I'm just so surprised that something that's so good is in the same universe as a show that was so bad. So we'll see. But yeah, really good watch. Really good watch. Super fun. It does feel like Johnny's character could be like a little stronger, but like it just feels like a wasted potential type of deal. But I think that's the point of the show. Like they just wanted to show like how much like he kind of just like waste a lot of his like potential and stuff and opportunities. So if that's the design choice, it's pretty good design choice. Who knows exactly, but yeah. And this was definitely one of my favorite anime, and this is definitely one of my favorite shows of this last year of 2021, aside from like Skate in the beginning of the year. I really liked Skate as well, but this one just shot all the way up. It shot all the way up, like all the way up, and it was just so good. So yeah.